On this particular day at New York Fashion Week, NYFW, such a moment unfolded with breathtaking clarity. Jungkook walked into the venue not only as a global superstar but also as a representative of Calvin Klein, and within just 24 hours, he managed to break two records that no one anticipated. The first was directly tied to the fashion world itself. His presence at the Calvin Klein show instantly became a highlight, setting a record in audience reactions, attendance interest, and global fashion coverage. The second was in the digital universe. He became the one trending topic on X, formerly Twitter, and dominated multiple social media platforms simultaneously, proving once again that his cultural force cannot be underestimated. The moment Jungkook's car pulled up outside the Calvin Klein venue in New York, the entire scene shifted. Fans had already lined the streets for hours, many traveling across states and even countries to catch just a few seconds of his arrival. The city was buzzing with its usual NYFW energy, but when Jungkook stepped out of the vehicle, the noise level skyrocketed. Armies screamed, cameras flashed endlessly, and social media feeds exploded in real-time updates. The Calvin Klein staff, security, and even fellow models could feel the difference. The atmosphere was no longer about just a fashion show. It was about a phenomenon unfolding before their eyes. This kind of hysteria, usually reserved for A-list Hollywood actors or global sports icons, is not common at fashion shows. Even among the biggest NYFW moments in history, few have drawn this scale of reaction. And that is where Jungkook's impact begins to look like something beyond the normal boundaries of celebrity influence. He is not only a musician stepping into fashion, but rather a global trendsetter who bridges both worlds so naturally that even seasoned fashion models and designers admitted to being caught off guard by the sheer intensity of his presence. Fashion Week has long been a stage for designers to showcase creativity, innovation, and craftsmanship. Yet, for the first time in years, it felt like the audience itself was no longer just waiting for clothes, they were waiting for a person. Calvin Klein understood the magnitude of bringing Jungkook into this moment, but even they may not have predicted just how overwhelming the outcome would be. According to industry insiders, attendance figures at the Calvin Klein show surged to unexpected levels, with invitations being among the most sought after of the season. Journalists, influencers, and fashion critics were eager to cover the brand's latest collection. But when Jungkook's name appeared on the guest list, the scale of interest tripled overnight. Media outlets from across the globe, from Seoul to Paris to Los Angeles, sent representatives, ensuring that his arrival would be documented from every angle. The crowd outside alone became record-breaking. Reports highlighted that the number of fans gathered at the Calvin Klein NYFW venue exceeded normal capacity expectations for celebrity arrivals. Security was doubled, barriers were extended, and staff had to manage what essentially became a concert-like environment outside a fashion event. This level of attention had rarely been witnessed at NYFW before. Not even for Hollywood actors or international models. It was clear Jungkook was the main attraction, not just a guest. Inside the venue, cameras followed his every step. Fellow celebrities, designers, and fashion editors could be seen subtly shifting their attention toward him, realizing that the night belonged to this one individual. Fashion Week had always been about highlighting new collections, but for Calvin Klein, Jungkook's presence became the ultimate branding power move. The company, which had already experienced surging sales and global reach thanks to his ambassador role, now had a historical moment that cemented his influence in fashion. By the end of the night, analysts were already calling it a record-breaking show, not because of the clothes themselves, but because of the cultural phenomenon attached to them. For the first time in NYFW history, a K-pop star had turned a runway into a global media spectacle. While the chaos unfolded in person, the digital world reacted with even greater intensity. Within minutes of his arrival, Jungkook and Calvin Klein climbed to the top of global trending lists, reaching 1 on X. This trend was not localized. It spanned multiple continents, with hashtags in English, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, and countless other languages. Data trackers revealed that in under 12 hours, there were already millions of posts, retweets, and image shares, with fan accounts across platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Weibo amplifying every second of his appearance. Short clips of him exiting the car, waving to fans, and walking into the venue each gathered millions of views in just hours. By the 24-hour mark, industry experts confirmed that Jungkook had officially broken a social media engagement record for a NYFW appearance. This digital takeover was significant for 2 reasons. First, it highlighted how K-pop fandom culture has become a dominant force in shaping online conversations worldwide. ARMY, known for their organized and passionate support, mobilized instantly to amplify Jungkook's presence, ensuring that his every move was seen and discussed by the global audience. Second, it showed the unparalleled influence Jungkook personally holds in bridging music, fashion, and social media. Unlike traditional celebrities who rely on interviews or curated brand promotions, Jungkook's impact exists in real time, driven by the immediacy of digital sharing. The result? He was not only the most talked about person at NYFW, but also the most visible global celebrity across all platforms within that 24-hour window. Even competing major events, film premieres, sports finals, and political updates were overshadowed by the flood of Jungkook content online. Beyond statistics and numbers, there is an emotional layer that cannot be ignored. Fans around the world were not simply celebrating his fashion appearance, they were experiencing a moment of pride. For ARMY, seeing Jungkook stand at the center of NYFW represented not only his personal success, but also a cultural breakthrough for K-pop on the global fashion stage. ARMY screamed, cried, and documented every detail: his outfit, his smile, the way he interacted with fans before entering the venue. Online, fans shared emotional messages about how surreal it felt to watch someone they had supported since his teenage years now command one of the most influential stages in the fashion world. For many, it was more than just a celebrity sighting. It was a symbol of how far he had come and how far K-pop had come with him. The collective hysteria became part of the spectacle itself. Media outlets reported not just on Jungkook's fashion, but also on the unprecedented energy of his fan base. Calvin Klein, in turn, capitalized on this moment, knowing that emotional fan response translates directly into brand loyalty and long-term cultural resonance. With both records broken, one in the physical realm of NYFW attendance and the other in the digital universe of trending dominance, Jungkook has now become the central figure of conversation in both fashion and entertainment. For the next several days, media coverage across continents focused heavily on his role in this event, making him the unofficial face of NYFW 2025. K-pop fans outside the ARMY community also turned their attention toward him. Other fandoms discussed his influence, while casual fashion enthusiasts who may not follow music closely suddenly found themselves drawn into his orbit. He became the link between fashion insiders and global pop culture, uniting audiences that rarely overlap so seamlessly. The most remarkable element of this focus is its scale and immediacy. In less than 24 hours, Jungkook not only redefined what a fashion show could be, but also redefined what celebrity influence looks like in the modern era. Jungkook's achievement, therefore, stands out. It is not only about his personal charisma, but also about the mobilization power of ARMY. Unlike traditional celebrity fan bases, K-pop fandoms are digital-first communities, skilled at maximizing visibility across platforms. This allowed Jungkook's NYFW appearance to transcend the usual cycle of celebrity coverage and become a global trending event that overshadowed everything else happening in entertainment that day. In this way, Jungkook is not just competing with other musicians or celebrities, he is redefining what it means to be a global icon in the modern era. Part of why this moment felt so powerful is the emotional investment fans have in Jungkook's journey. Unlike traditional celebrities who rise through Hollywood systems, Jungkook's career has been a decade-long story that millions of fans have followed in real time. They remember him as a teenager debuting in BTS, navigating years of growth, and now standing at the center of NYFW as a global ambassador. This backstory turns every milestone into a shared achievement. Fans are not merely observers, they feel like stakeholders in his success. When Jungkook breaks records, ARMY feels they are breaking them too. This emotional dynamic magnifies the intensity of their reactions. Making moments like NYFW much more than fashion, they become chapters in a collective narrative. For Calvin Klein, this is invaluable. Instead of hiring a celebrity whose success feels detached from their fanbase, they have aligned with an artist whose supporters see themselves reflected in his triumphs. This is why the hysteria outside the venue felt like a concert. It was the emotional release of years of loyalty converging in one defining moment. The impact of Jungkook's record-breaking NYFW moment has not gone unnoticed within the industry. Fashion houses are competitive, and every season brings discussions about who won Fashion Week in terms of visibility and cultural relevance. By attaching themselves to Jungkook, Calvin Klein essentially secured victory. But the consequences ripple further. Other fashion brands are now likely re-evaluating how they approach celebrity partnerships. The traditional model of hiring Hollywood actors or established supermodels may no longer be enough in a digital-first world. Brands will increasingly look toward artists who can bridge industries, dominate online conversations, and mobilize fan bases at a scale never seen before. In this sense, Jungkook's NYFW appearance is not just a personal milestone, it may mark a turning point in fashion marketing strategy. With 2 records already broken in less than a day, the natural question becomes, what comes next? Jungkook has already proven that his influence in fashion is not a side project, but a pillar of his global identity. Fans and industry watchers alike are now anticipating his next moves, whether it be another major fashion collaboration, a solo music release tied to fashion campaigns, or even the possibility of him influencing design itself. Calvin Klein, for their part, will likely continue building on this momentum. The company has tasted the unparalleled visibility Jungkook brings, and it would be surprising if they did not deepen this partnership further. Special capsule collections, exclusive events, or even expanded ambassadorship roles may be on the horizon. What is clear is that the NYFW moment was not an isolated peak. It is part of an upward trajectory that shows no signs of slowing down. Jungkook is not just participating in cultural events, he is defining them.